All right, question number 10. Now, the reason I started this podcast was because my father lost all his money. I saw him lose all his money, which had a bit of a devastating effect on him, to be honest. So Warren Buffett is quoted as saying, rule number 1, never lose money. Rule number 2, never forget rule number 1. Amanda, how do we not lose money as investors?
So as investors, there's a number of philosophies that I teach my members inside my program. So the first one is always risk first, profit second, right? So when you're in the development world, when you start doing feasibilities, the numbers are really lucrative, right? And that greed gland can certainly come to the fore when you start thinking, I'm going to make all this money. How awesome is this? But I always say, we look at the project first and make sure that we manage risk first. And if you're comfortable that all those risks are being managed, and you can't manage every single risk, but the majority of the risks, then if the profit stacks up, then you proceed. So that's one strategy. Second strategy is always have buffers. So buffers in your projects, buffers in your financial life, so that if any surprises happen, then you know that you're going to be able to support that surprise or that challenge. So like I think back for our investment properties, and those 2 investment properties were not, were reverse mortgage and costing us money. We had buffers to be able to ride that so we could get out without it costing us. And same with projects. I always want to make sure that I've got, if anything goes south, that I know that my investors and my money partners are all protected and we're going to be okay. So always have buffers. Thirdly, win-win always. So it's always making sure that whatever you do is a win for you, but it's also a win for your joint venture partner, your business, your family, friends, whatever. And then the last one is starting with the end in mind. So when we go into projects, it's always thinking about how we're going to get out of a project when we're getting into it. And so that's looking at risk strategies there. So it's really, a lot of this is around risk management. And as I mentioned before, I'm married to a very risk-averse husband, and as frustrating as that can be at times, it's actually been a blessing in disguise, that push-pull. He drags me back down. I'm like, I just want to run and run and run. And he's like, well, hang on a second, Amanda, that's a bit risky. So we managed to meet halfway at most times. But yeah, I think it is really about managing risk. And regardless of how good something is, you always want to think, okay, well, what could go wrong here? And that's not to scare yourself or to freak you out, especially for those who are really risk averse. Think, oh my God, I'm scared, it's too risky. It's about taking calculated risks, because everything in life has risks. So by managing risk the best way we can, risk first, profit second, having buffers, being win-win always and starting with the end in mind is how I believe that you can never lose money.
Love it.